Okay, welcome to this webinar here at Boards on Fire. And the topic for today is integrating Boards on Fire from data to daily management. Um, and it's the two of us
Yeah.
that's going to run this webinar. And besides me, I have.
My name is Hannah. I'm a customer success manager here at Boards on Fire. And
Yes. And my name is Ronnie, and I'm a digital lean expert here at Boards on Fire. And we also have two colleagues that are sitting in the next room. It's Emil, who's taking care of the technical, and then we have Jonas, who's going to be responsible for the chat. So if you have any questions during the webinar, especially regarding the technical issues about Boards on Fire, how to integrate, you can write them in the chat, and Jonas will take care of the answers. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today?
let's see.
Yep, that we're sharing. We're going to talk. We have an agenda. Why integrate with Boards on Fire, and just look at some of the topics. Why it's important to get it running, and then we're going to look at 3 practical ways to integrate, and it's especially Hannah who's going to
Yeah.
take care of that part. How to get started in a simple way to get the most out of Boards on Fire together with the integrations, and then we have some Q&A and a closing time. Okay, we have some 50 people here at the webinar, and roughly 30 of you are already running Boards on Fire, and then we have an additional 20 who are new. So just like take a small brief introduction to what is Boards on Fire and how to get it running. The most people that get in contact with us or companies, they are already running some kind of daily management today. And most of them are running in a whiteboard analog environment combined with, for example, Power BI, Excel sheets, and maybe some OE data from another system. So that's the typical case. And that's also what we are doing during the days normally, Hannah,
Yeah.
helping companies to make the leap into getting digital daily management instead. So we're helping and transforming the analog environments into a digital version. And all of you that are within this webinar and already running Boards on Fire, you have an environment, something like the one that we see here. And our recommendation is to start manually. So that's what most of you have done. And what we mean about logging manually is you're manually logging the data, the deviations, and so on into the product. And then when you're, up and running and getting familiar with the system, then we, start looking at integrating with our systems. And that's the topic for today.
Yes.
So we could say that this webinar is like an presentation to integrate the digital data management. Because why should you integrate, and what are the different systems that most of our customers integrate to Boards on Fire? It could be, for example, a maintenance program. And why should you integrate that? Well, it could be useful for the people at the department, at the shop floor, to know that, okay, today this machine is going to have some kind of fix. So when the maintenance people arrive to the department, everyone is aware that, okay, this is going to happen, and everyone is prepared for it. So they're not up and running with production in it. It could be BI tools that you integrate with different kinds of data that is today in, for example, a Microsoft environment, and you want to visualize them in Boards on Fire. We have a lot of customers that are integrating from ERP, so it could be, production order or whatever it is, and that we integrate and take that data information from the ERP system into Boards on Fire. And then the people on the shop floor can prioritize and choose different kinds of prioritization depending on the need right now.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
It sounds perfectly.
It sounds perfectly. Okay. So really, our aim is to, because Boards on Fire is a great tool for daily management, but it's also after the meeting. What do you use the monitors for then? You can use it for visualizing different kinds of data from different kinds of systems, so you not need to have one monitor for each to get so the staff can get a better overview of how we're running right now. Okay, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I can take it.
Yep.
So why it's important to start with integration, and what's next step? We have very much everyday challenges in the daily management, and we have a lot of them. But manual updates, they take time, they can be wrong. You write it down from another system, put it in Boards on Fire, and you have the human. Yeah, you cannot always write down the right value. You have the important information in different kind of systems, so you want to have them all on the same place. And then you got a good data quality. You got the correct information. You follow up is on the correct information instead. Now it's on outdated information if you put it manually sometimes. And it's difficult to create a shared operational overview.
Perfect. Perfect. And since the daily management meeting should be on how it looks right now, it's so important with those topics that Hannah were into here to really get the update right now, not old data that is not interesting anymore. Okay, so what do we mean by integrations here at Boards on Fire? Well, it's meaning that, we're taking data from different kinds of source systems, put them into Boards on Fire, and then visualize it in a number of different ways. Like the pulse meetings, only one way of visualizing it. That's what the most customers start with. We are very good in helping you setting up different kinds of daily management boards and to have good meetings in front of them. But as we said earlier, it's also for KPI visualization during the rest of the day. And then we can take data from the ERP, the MS, the Excel, CSV, maintenance, or whatever it is. And most importantly, as soon as we get data from different kinds of systems, for example, the source systems, when they are in the Boards on Fire environment, you and your staff can take actions on them. You can create deviations, you can create continuous improvement, and so on. So it's not only a number in an OEE system, it's something that you can take action on if there's a disturbance or something that, the downtime is too big. Okay, we need to do something about it. We need to do a root cause analysis and really get to the bottom. Why are we lagging? That's a good thing. Getting it into Boards on Fire, taking action.
Yes. And now we're talking about the ways you can integrate with Boards on Fire. We have two different ways. So we have file integration. It's simply that you can send the data in a file to Boards on Fire. We also have API. That means like you're building a connection between Boards on Fire and another system, so they can communicate with each other. And then we have the iframe. This is not really an integration, but it's a way to visualize data from another system in Boards on Fire. So it's a component we have.
And we're going to walk through all of these three versions,
Yeah.
so you get a good grip on them.
Yes. So I think let's start by looking at how file integration works in Boards on Fire.
Yeah.
So we use CSV files, which are very easy to work with. In most of your systems, you can export a CSV file, but it's very easy if you have an Excel, like here. We have with information, date, which department or organization, and different KPIs. It's easy for you to save and export it to a CSV instead.
Sorry for having this one in Swedish, but we couldn't make
Couldn't
an
fix it.
English version
Yeah.
out of it.
But you export it to a CSV.
Yeah.
So it's very easy, as you can see. So very ready to go.
Yeah, and this is the interesting part because many organizations that get in contact with us and wants to, start using Boards on Fire, they already run a lot of them within Excel.
Yeah.
And it's so easy, as Hannah's going to show you here, to take this data and transform it or get it into Boards on Fire.
Yeah, it's very easy. So the only thing you need to think about is that the file should follow the correct formed for Boards on Fire. And you can read more about this one in our knowledge center. We have all the information, but we on customer success will helpfully help you with this one. To securely transfer files between the systems, we use SFTP. You can think of it as a login into a secure server, and then you hand over the file you want to see in Boards on Fire. And here we see the same one we saw here, but with only 2 rows. So it's a bit more simple for you to look at. So a file can be exported from any system and be sent to BOF, and you can include both historical data and future, like a forecast. But here we're showing the simple file, just you to make it easy to understand. So in this example, we can see date, both for team 1 and team 2. We can see quality, delivery, scrap, and OEE. So this one we're going to connect into a data source for tracking KPIs in Boards on Fire. But you can also make it in entities, like a list. Do you have a good example for that?
For example, action list, or if you have like an internal communication from different departments on the shop floor that want to get in contact with maintenance department, you can log all those files and read them. And we can also take those action lists from, for example, an maintenance system and visualize them in Boards on Fire, because one important thing here is that, okay, we have some different figures here, but does it need to be figures in those columns?
No, you can have text and other information also.
Yeah, so you can really import whatever kind of data that you want to. If you can get it into Excel, you can get it into Boards on Fire.
Great. So we can see the file and what it includes, but now we will upload this file into Boards on Fire. So let's jump in. So here we are in environment, and now we're going to look at a KPI board. So both team 2 and team 1 has KPI boards, and now we can see there's no information, no data, just empty. And now we're going to make the file integration. So we have some data on this board.
And this is really a brand new feature for Boards on Fire users. I guess some of you that have been running CSV integrations within Boards on Fire previous, you needed to get in contact with us at CS and help you with the mapping and so on. But since like 5-6 weeks ago, it's built into the product itself, so you can really get self going with this.
So then we jump into the menu. We go down to the file integration. Here you can create your SFTP user, but it's also here you do the file setup for new files. So let's jump in. Here we can see, just a moment, an overview of our active, inactive, and the unconfigured files. So we have some files already that's running, like this one, KPIs. We can see an overview. It was 5 hours ago. It was uploaded, and we can see the logs, which time it was uploaded, how many rows, and so on. But now we're going to upload a new file. So we are pressing upload file, and we're choosing our file. And now we're going to configure our file. Let's see if it zoom. Yeah. The same. So here you always have the link to our knowledge center also, if you need help. But you will get a step-by-step guide in Boards on Fire by how you're doing the mapping. So now we're starting the configuration, and we get this view. So first we're going to choose the separator for the file, and this Boards on Fire will do for you. So you can see it's semicolon, and you can see the preview of the file, and it's looking good. So we can go to the next step.
And then again, just wait. So if we go to the Excel again, you can really see that it's exactly the same as the one in Excel. So this is probably the view that you're used to, and then when you upload it into Boards on Fire,
we can see the same view.
Yep.
And then we jump to the next step. And here we need to choose the destination where the file should be imported. And here we have three different we can choose between. So we have data source, it's for KPI with a time, like a time precision. We have entities, like a list, and we also have deviations, and it's to our deviation module. But in this case, it's a data source because it's KPIs. We're choosing data source, and here we can add a new data source. That means Boards on Fire will make a data source for you with the file names. But now we are already prepared, so we can also choose a data source we already done before. So this one, team KPIs.
This is really strong feature because many of you has been, running Boards on Fire more manually, and you don't need to, get rid of the old data source and create a new one. Instead, you can continue building and adding data to the already existing data source, so you don't lose any history.
Yeah, so you don't have to do a new data source or entity like every time. So you can connect a file to an already existing data source. So we jump to the next step. And here we're choosing which column in our file is the date column, because when you have a data source, it's always connected to a time, a day, a week, month, and so ever. So now we're choosing our column with the date, and we save. And the next step is that each row in your file is going to be linked to an organization in Boards on Fire, or department, maybe you call it. And here we have two options. We have that the file contains one organization per row, which we had. We can see in our file, we have team 1, team 2, and so on. But you can also have that the same file just go to one organization. This whole file goes to team 1 instead. But in this case, we are choosing this one, and that is the organization we are choosing. So this one is the same as this one. And we go to the next step. And here we're going to do the field mapping. So in our data source, we have fields, and we also have it in our CSV file. And here we have the function that we can automap the fields, and then Boards on Fire recognize them. So we can see scrap with scrap, OE with OE, and so on. And we can apply the mappings. But here you can also remove a mapping, you can edit it, and you can do it manually by add mapping by yourself. So you can choose between. But now it went perfectly smooth.
And by using or creating the data source like this, then you can combine manual import to a data source together with the file integration. So maybe 4 or 5 of the fields are from the integration, and 2, 3 of them are from your staff, from the shop floor. So it really makes it flexible.
Yeah, so like Ronnie said, when you're mapping the file, you can choose, okay, scrap we want to have in the file, but maybe delivery we want to make manually.
Yep.
And so then we don't map those fields. But then we go to the next step. And here are just some final settings. We have if you want to be notified when it's an error with your file during the import, you can choose a user in Boards on Fire. You can also choose time zone and number and date format for the file if you're a different time zone. So you're writing maybe the date column differently than we do. And here we see an overview of the configuration. We can see which file were used, the destination, the date column, on which organization, and also the field mapping. And I think we are complete with this one.
Yep.
So we save and run. Perfect. And now it's running, and now we can go to our KPI board and see if we have some information.
There we have it.
And we can see we have all the 14 rows imported at this time, right now. And we have team 1, and we also have team 2, Well, let's go to the same KPI board. I think we do like this.
We have it.
And now we had a lot more information than before. So now we can see we had the status component. We can see if we over or under target for different days. We can see in the speedometer how it went yesterday. And we have a chart component where you can see over time. So I think file integration, as you can see, is the perfect choice for someone who wants to make it automate without any like knowledge. It's very easy, as you can see. I just have a file, I can upload it, I can make the mapping in just a couple of minutes, and I can have it on my board.
And as Hannah said earlier, you can import all of your data. So instead of it being, hidden in an Excel file somewhere, you get it into Boards on Fire, and then you can create yearly overviews or whatever, and make it visible for all the people that is concerned for the data.
Yeah, and just good to know. Now we uploaded the file manually, but you can also do it like with Power Automate or similar systems who will do it for you. So you don't have to upload it like we did now. And just the first time for the mapping then. But great. Then I think we're going to the API.
Yeah. And before we go into the API, it's maybe useful to say that, when you look at the dashboards, one strong feature within Boards on Fire is that you can't really tell if, the data has been manually logged, or if it's from the file integration, or if it's from API. And you can really combine all the different ways of getting data into Boards on Fire and still have the same nice view and of the data and the speedometers and everything. So let's look at what you can do with the API.
Yeah. So the second way to integrating with Boards on Fire is for our API. As Ronnie said, you can see this board, and we cannot see if it's file integration, API, or it's manually. So this can also be updated by API right now. As I said before, API is a way for different systems to communicate with each other, and you can think of it as a digital bridge that allows one system to send and retrieve information from another automatically. So instead of someone doing the work manually, the API handles it in the background for you. So our API on Boards on Fire is built as a REST API. It's a bit tech. So if you want to learn more about this, I will recommend you our knowledge center.
Yeah.
It's more for like developers.
And when we say knowledge center, where do you find the knowledge center?
So on our website, you have the knowledge center up here, and it's easy for you to search about API, for example.
Yeah.
And you can see information about that.
Perfect.
So, as I said, setting up an API connection requires technical development skills, as it involves building an integration client to connect the systems. So if you don't have a developer in your house, you can get help from an external, like IT, to help you with that. But just to understand a bit more, so this is how it often looks when you're building an integration client. Since your data is usually secured, stored behind your own firewalls, we use something though called integration client. You can think of this as a secure bridge builder. It will get data from your database and transform it into a format that we can have in Boards on Fire, and then we send it to our API. And that means all your Boards on Fire dashboards will be updated in real time.
So the important thing here is, also I would just mention that you own your own integration client. You run, you know which data that is sent through the firewall to Boards on Fire. So you have everything in control. It's not that we going through and fetch anything. It's always you who's in control of the client.
Yeah. So if we jump into Boards on Fire again, Good to know is that our API is dynamic, which means that if you create like a new data source or an entity, it becomes immediately available in the API. So you can both send and retrieve data from it right away. For example, you can have a data source for delivery, like we have a look at here, and you will right away find it in our documentation. So if we open the menu, I think we're going to zoom in a bit, and we scroll down again. Here we find a section for API clients where you add one, but also our API documentation. So let's go in there. And here you can see all the information you need about the API. For a developer, everything is clear here. So it can look a bit hard over here for us normal people, regular people. But you can look up delivery over here, maybe, as we said. And here we can see, oh, okay, we have a data source called delivery. And here we see all the information we need to interact with this data source. So you can send data to it. But yes, a bit technical.
And this is the time when we usually, demo Boards on Fire to customers who wants to get started with the API. When we're showing this to their, IT people, we always get, 2 thumbs up and say, well, everyone should build our API client like this. It's super easy for us to understand and, start working with. So we really appreciate that.
Great.
Mm.
So the API makes things much faster. You're skipping all the extra steps, and your boards will react live at the same time something happens in your production.
Mm. Mm.
Great. I think we're going to show one more thing in here.
There we are. So we're back again to the KPI board, or how a KPI board could look like in Boards on Fire. And we have made an integration, so all of the data is imported automatically, and it's up and running. And Hannah has walked you through 2 different ways of integrating data into Boards on Fire. And now we're going to look at the third one. And exactly as Hannah said earlier, it's really not an integration, but it's all about showing data from other systems in Boards on Fire. So those 2 ways that Hannah showed you is getting the data into the product itself, but you can also do it in another way. And this is what we're showing you right now here on this slide, or on this board. So we added a column that we call KPI in iframe. And what is this? Well, everyone that is using Boards on Fire also has access to iframe component. It's just adding it the normal way. And as soon as you get it into the board, you can add a file into it. For example, an Excel. Here is a PowerPoint, and this one is a Power BI. And the good thing is, if we try to zoom a little bit here, does it work? Well, you can see. So this is the file that Hannah uploaded like 8 minutes ago, and you see it's the same figures. So if you're not there yet to make this integration and get the data into Boards on Fire, but you have them in an Excel or whatever, then you can have them in a system like this. And if you double press it, you're getting into the Excel, so you can really look through it. Here we also have a PowerPoint. It's super easy. Maybe you have it on the SharePoint somewhere at your side, and then you make a connection to a couple of different boards within Boards on Fire, and then you can use it as an add-on for the information to your staff. And this one is also clickable, so when you're getting in there, you can show whatever you have in your PowerPoint like this. And if you want to walk through together with the staff. Okay, what's the basics within lean and throughout the production system, and how does the TPS compare to the culture version? Well, then you can have a discussion around it. Or if you want to show, okay, how is Boards on Fire used at one of our customers, at a whole lot of different departments, or whatever kind of information that you want to show within this one. The third example is that, okay, here we have a Power BI, and as you can see, you can interact with the Power BI also when it's in our iframe. So you can move the map, and it's the same here. Press it, and it will pop up, and you have access to it. So it's a good way if you're not knowing, shall we show this Power BI to these people or not? But you have it there, and if it's suitable, then you can always bring it up and start working with it. So all of these three are iframe.
iframe,
Yes. And I guess most of you have a SharePoint version or that is kind of locked, so you can't share your files from with outside organization. But what many of our or some of our customers do, they create a small space within their SharePoint that is open to public, and there they can add files that, for example, goes to Boards on Fire like this one. And of course, we have the same security protocol and so on when we're reading this one into Boards on Fire. But then you can access whatever kind of data that you want to add into Boards on Fire. It's not an integration, but it's a way of showing data from another system.
Yeah.
So that's why we also, bringing it in this today.
And as Ronnie said before, the iframe component all our customers has access to. So just you can try it on. But the API and the file integration is an add-on, but just get in touch with your CS manager and they will help you.
Yep.
Great.
Okay. So what would you say, Hannah? What creates the greatest impact by starting using integrations into Boards on Fire?
Yeah, you will save a lot of time with no manual input, but the update will happen automatically. So no manual, and then we save a lot of time, and not the wrong data will be in the board. It's just the correct data, and that you want to work with and take actions from. So the data quality becomes reliable. It's the correct one.
Yep.
And the follow-up and actions you make based from the rate data. If you put it manually and it's wrong, then you can maybe take actions, but it's not the correct ones. So it's very important.
So it's both for saving time, but it's also trying to remove the human error of moving data from one system to the other. You have some 10 things in your head going on at the same time, and then you're going to move some figures and what?
Yeah, and you have everything on the same place. You don't have a board over there,
Exactly.
a screen over there, a computer. You have everything on the same place.
Yep.
That's great.
Everyone should integrate into Boards on Fire. Okay, so what would you recommend a customer to Boards on Fire to? Do you know how should I think when I should start working with integrations?
Like we said, start simple. What data do you need in Boards on Fire? Don't take everything you have just to do it. Just take the important to begin with, and the one you work with daily, maybe. And also start simple. Maybe in this case, you can try iframe, but also like file integration. You can just talk with your CS manager, and you can try it. An API will take a longer time because you need to technical fix the integration client. But file integration, as you saw, it took like 5 minutes, maybe 10, and then you can just map the file and you can see it on your board. So just try it out.
Good. And always remember, what data shall we integrate and which persons shall we show it to? Well, it's the people who is needing it. Don't, just because you can, doesn't mean that you should. These people in this group, on the shop floor, on this middle management level, or whatever it is, what information do they need to do a good job? What information do they need to, feel that they are part of something bigger, that they are delivering, but also if there's some kind of disturbance, that I have the tools and the information for, making a root cause analysis and okay, what happened here, and starts digging a little, because that's when you get the people with you, and that's what all Boards on Fire is all about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're quite good with the time here. I don't know if there's been any questions to the chat, because we can't see the chat when we're doing this, but maybe we can open it there. I know that Jonas has been around in case there were any, and we still have some time. And even after this, I know that Jonas is gonna look at the chat. So if you have any questions or thoughts or something about, okay, what did I meant by that? How do I get going with integrations into Boards on Fire, or whatever it is, just write it in the chat, or exactly as Hannah said earlier, get in contact with your
CS manager.
CS manager, and they will walk you through it.
Yeah.
Yes. And for those of you who are not running Boards on Fire, but got, some kind of interest during this webinar, just click on the QR here with your camera, and you can, book a demo, and our staff will take care of you and help you show what Boards on Fire can do for you. Okay. And we also want to highlight our next webinar that we're going to have within a month. And it's on the 13th of May at 1500 Central European Time. And it's going to be about Boards on Fire Pulse Playbook. And what do we mean by that? Well, it's all about how to make daily management work in practice. We have the product, and we're very proud of it, and we are, giving it a lot of love, and making it better and better every day. And what we're going to start doing here is that we're also going to look at the methods and the methodology behind, daily management, a little bit about lean and so on, and try to support you with a playbook of how to get even more out of your usage of Boards on Fire. And also that your CS managers can support you more with how to get the most out of it, because we have some thousands customers that are running Boards on Fire in a number of different ways, and of course we are learning the whole time what are the best ones doing and what maybe not to do. And when we take all of this, into consideration and thought it through, that's what a Boards on Fire Pulse Playbook is going to be all about.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we have anything to add?
I think that's perfect.